hundreds of millions of records sold worldwide.
People love ABBA. It lightens their load.
The thing about ABBA songs is that everyone knows them.
With 9 UK number ones.
They have had hit after hit after hit.
Everybody loves ABBA. You have to love ABBA. There's nothing not to like about ABBA.
And a global smash film and musical that's brought their timeless songs to a new generation.
They've got so many great songs.
They were singing about true heartache.
It seems the world can't get enough of ABBA.
They're just part of the iconic culture of music.
Let's put it this way, it would be a sadder world if ABBA hadn't existed.
The ABBA story is amazing.
It was 2 girls and 2 boys.
It's the story of how 2 Swedish couples met, married and divorced, all while conquering the pop world.
Everybody's married. I gotta go home with you and sleep with you, argue with you, and perform with you. It's too much.
ABBA brought us 25 unforgettable UK chart hits in the 70s and 80s. We've all got our favourites, so what's yours?
My favourite ABBA song, gosh, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of good ones.
I love SOS.
Chiquitita has to be Waterloo.
I suppose I would like The Winner Takes It All because I am a winner.
Tonight, we'll count down ABBA's greatest hits as voted for by you in our exclusive nationwide poll and expect some surprises. But what's the word on the street?
Money, money, money.
Take a chance on me. Relay Verdi.
Winner Takes It All.
Dancing Queen.
And we'll hear the inside secrets of how these perfect pop creations were made. From Bjorn, who used to be the clean-shaven one.
And I thought, bloody hell, I don't want to be in this bloody folk crew.
From Annie Frid, usually called Frida, who used to be the redhead.
I started to cry. I was so totally moved by that backing track.
And from those who knew them best.
We were drunk, yes.
There'll be pianos, there'll be glitter, there'll be tears, there'll be beards. We'll even play you the long-lost verse from Dancing Queen.
Baby, baby, you're right outside. Hey, you're looking alright tonight.
So here from 25 to 1 are the nation's favourite ABBA songs as voted for by you. Kicking us off at number 25, it's the earliest ABBA recording to hit the British charts, Ring Ring.
I was sitting by the phone. I was waiting all alone. Baby, by myself, I sit and wait and wonder about you.
Right from the start, this was a band who sounded great and looked extraordinary.
Seems like nothing's going right.
They're pretty intense. They are pretty intense.
You look at that and you think that was the sort of Spice Girls of their time, because they don't look dissimilar to the early outfits that Spice Girls used to wear.
And I don't know what to do.
It was the early 70s. Glam rock was at its glammest, and ABBA wanted to get noticed.
This, the reptile costume, is just a skin-tight reptile costume. It's a little bit dangerous, perhaps.
Cut all the way down to my navel, I think, and was held together with a brooch.
Platform shoes. Look at that. You got it, girl. Work it. Even he's working it.
It's a bit of everything. It's a smorgasbord.
Superman.
Cape and sequins, anything.
Costumes man Ove created a silky blue number for keyboard king Benny, complete with giant feather.
Why the feather? Why? What a just funny idea. Why should you have explanations for everything? Some mystery must remain mysteries.
Hoping Hoping to make their mark outside Sweden, ABBA recruited one of pop's greatest songwriters, Neil Sedaka, to pen English lyrics for Ring Ring.
They had never really sung a record in English. So I was very honored that I wrote their first English record, Ring Ring.
ABBA hoped that their catchy tune with Neil Sedaka's English lyrics would become Sweden's Eurovision entry for 1973. But the band, including a heavily pregnant Agneta, only came third in the heats. Later in our countdown, we'll hear about their more successful second attempt. I think you know the one. From that irresistible slice of early ABBA, we're fast-forwarding 9 years to a song from near the end of their glorious run. Head Over Heels came out in 1982, a time when a new wave of pop acts were taking over the charts, but it still found a place in the UK Top 30. We go back to the early days of the band for the song you voted number 23 in our countdown. And can you believe this was a time when ABBA's career was hanging in the balance? Their Eurovision winner Waterloo had been a worldwide smash, but the next 18 months were lean ones for the band in Britain. And I Do stalled at number 38 in the charts of 1975. And the music press were hardly gushing.
Melody Maker, the review of that song, he says, it's so bad it hurts.
The British music journalists were very cruel.
But 35 years on, the song is much more appreciated.
It's just such a lovely, uplifting, romantic song. It was very unfashionable at the time. The whole production of it was very kind of 60s. They kind of just do what they want to do. And I think that's why they're still so successful. They weren't trying to follow a trend.
Here's what I do is, it's almost like a vaudeville variety kind of a song. You can imagine, I do. All together now, sing with your mother.
And there's plenty more to sing along to after the break as we continue our search for the nation's favourite ABBA song. With Bjorn, the frustrated rock god.
I always dreamed to be a pop idol.
A musical night out in Stockholm.
We were filmed leaving that nightclub at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
And the favourite ABBA song of Jake from the Scissor Sisters.
It's devilish. It's a devilish song.
Welcome back to the search for the nation's favourite ABBA song. You've cast your votes. These are the results, and this is why we love them.
The music is infectious for everyone, however jaded your ear or your eye or your heart.
ABBA songs are just really passionate and emotive, and also loads of fun.
It takes you back to a certain time, in a certain era, and a certain feeling.
It's timeless. And that's what good music is, it's timeless.
The great comfort about ABBA always was that the two women were so attractive and the two men looked like you.
So now we're nicely warmed up, it's time for a classic that showcases Agneta and Frida's very different vocal talents. And can you believe that Money, Money, Money is only down at number 22?
The wonderful thing with this is that I'm a mezzo-soprano and Agneta is a soprano.
That's too bad.
Which gave a lot of freedom for the boys.
Absolutely. You listen to a song like Money, Money, Money. I mean, Frida sings the verses and it's very low. Then you can add Agneta and the choruses up there. So that gave us, you know, complete flexibility.
Money, Money, Money has always been a major inspiration for me. The craftsmanship. You know, it's heartbreaking for me because I look at that and I will never, ever be that good.
The harmonies and the way it's constructed. And the piano. They took the hammers of the piano and they stuck drawing pins in, so that when they played them, they got a metallic sound. Just brilliant.
A man like that is hard to find, but I can't get him off my mind.
In its sophistication and drama, Money, Money, Money hinted at Bjorn and Benny's future ventures into musical theatre.
That's too bad. So I must
Money, Money, Money's got a wonderful theatrical quality to it.
Las Vegas or Monaco.
Takes you on a journey, that song. The kind of storytelling.
Never be the same.
They go all over the place with it. And that's very musical.
Money, money, money. Must be funny in the rich man's world.
It's a dark song.
Money, money, money.
And it's got kind of that devilish bombast to it. It's devilish. It's a devilish song.
But this devilish slice of pop perfection could have turned out very different.
It's a rich man's world.
I remember about that song that it was originally about a gypsy. The first lyric.
The first lyric,
about, you never saw that.
No, I didn't know that at all.
Benny and I played that and it didn't sound right at all. Whereas the sound of, you know, money, money, money was so right.
So you only voted that ABBA classic at number 22. How good must the other 21 be? Well, next in our countdown is a top 30 single from 1982. It's Under Attack, a song that saw the band embracing a new sound inspired by the early 80s wave of electro-pop. From 80s electronica, straight back now to the band at their peak. Your number 20 is a song from the late 70s, when disco was king.
Voulez-Vous was definitely their move into disco, you know, it was kind of that more upbeat, kind of fun side of ABBA. As soon as that first beat kicks in, you just want to get up and dance.
I just thought it was a great disco song. You know, when it comes on in a nightclub, you definitely get out on the floor to that one. It's just a great song that comes on at clubs.
What nightclub do you go to again?
I go to the ABBA nightclub.
It wasn't one that you'd actually freak out to in the club. It was one where you could be a little bit sexy. Take me now, you know, it was a real pointer.
In search of that sexy disco sound, they originally recorded the song in Miami. But back home, they had second thoughts and brought in their regular Swedish musicians.
When they came back with the basic tracks, they called me up and said, Janne, could you overdub what it does so we get the feeling we had on the old ones? The American musicians, they will play it in the American way, which is maybe a little more laid back, but in Sweden we're more on the beat.
Beautifully crafted songs with highly sophisticated productions, they could write them. Emotionally charged ballads with tear-stained vocals, they could sing them. But there was always a part of ABBA that just wanted to turn the amp up to 11 and rock out.
I I always dreamed to be a pop idol. But the group that I was in from the beginning, which was in '63 we had our first hit, that was in a folk group.
Don't be like ice to me. I am not a clown.
It was at the same time as the Beatles made their entrance. And I thought, bloody hell, I want to be like that. I don't want to be in this bloody folk group.
Baby, those are the rules.
Singing old, you know, dusty old American folk songs and covers. So, but I got my chance. And especially, I would say, in Does Your Mother Know?
Yes, at number 19 in our countdown is one young Swedish folkie's rock star fantasies come true.
And that's when I lived it out. A rock hero.
He loved to perform, absolutely. And that's the reason also why he wanted to have this costume. There are lots of costumes that are made for him, and they were all tight, he could move with them. It was elastic material. Nothing could stop him moving and dancing, and he loved it, of course he did.
Does Your Mother Know is unique in our chart because it's the only ABBA single where Bjorn takes the lead vocal.
I used to get one song each album, you know, so it must have been like this was number 10 or 11 song of that album. So it was my turn. That song was not particularly written with me in mind. It was, you know, it could have been either of the girls too.
I think it was much better with you.
At 18, it's a musical night on the town.
At home, we have summer houses on an island outside Stockholm, where we spend the summers, with long, lazy days and short, wonderful nights. Stockholm is really a summer night city.
In the sunlight, we like sleeping. I can take it for too long. My impatience slowly creeping up my spine and growing strong. I know what's waiting there for me. Tonight I lose that fancy free.
From their earliest days, ABBA were pioneers of the pop video, and behind the camera was a young Swede called Lasse Hallström, who's since become a top Hollywood director. Bjorn's original inspiration for the lyrics had been a summer night city somewhere hot, but Lasse's video stayed closer to home, with the band strutting their stuff on a night out in Stockholm.
That one needed the authenticity of a Swedish night out, so we were drunk, yes. No, not I was at least.
I've always been very fond of dancing. When you were young, like we were at that time, you know, it happened that we went out to a nightclub.
It was perfect to shoot in that nightclub, which incidentally is the club that Benny and I used to go to when we had, you know, like...
A night out?
No, not a night out. We were not allowed to have nights out. But when we would like to play a final mix of a dance number to an audience, just to try it out, that's where we used to go.
Finished the disco part of it around 3 o'clock, and you know, you have dawn starting out. I had daylight to shoot in.
Benny and I, we were filmed leaving that nightclub at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And then you had that beautiful morning light, which is very Scandinavian, of course.
So, have we played your favourite ABBA song yet? Still to come, vocal trouble.
They had to sing very deep down, you know.
Nil point for ABBA.
Dare they give them no points?
And the ABBA song that in Dermot's eyes has got the X Factor.
I love SOS. You hear this, and you think, where's this going to go?
Welcome back to the nation's favourite ABBA song, as voted for by you. And next, it's the one that started it all.
I suppose my favourite ABBA song has to be Waterloo, because I remember it so well and so clearly from that marvellous evening in Brighton, 1974.
These are the ABBA group. Born, Frida, Anna, who's just beside her with the long blonde hair, and Benny.
Sir Terry was commentating for radio that year, so on TV we had David Vine trying to work out which of the ABBA group was Benny and which was, Born, as they represented Sweden in Eurovision 1974.
Oh, and it's Napoleon. No wonder their song is called Waterloo. This is Sven Olaf Waldorf, who's really entered into the spirit of it all. Waiting for Waterloo by ABBA for Sweden. Watch this one.
It was the band's second crack at Eurovision, remember? And this would make them international stars overnight.
At Waterloo, Napoleon did surrender. Oh yeah, and I have met my destiny in quite a similar way.
The song was very commercial, but it wasn't just that it was commercial. It was a good song. And being a composer, you could tell right away they knew their craft.
Waterloo, I was defeated, you won the war. Waterloo.
ABBA stood out in Eurovision because visually it was incredible, and Waterloo was just a brilliant 3-minute pop song.
Waterloo, couldn't escape if I wanted to.
Not everyone was impressed, though.
Hello, London.
Yes, hello, this is London. Results of the United Kingdom jury.
I'm one of the 10 British jurors that awarded Sweden's ABBA and Waterloo no points in the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest.
ABBA? Nil point. Something not right about that.
I tried to.
I remember they were wearing lurid colours, weren't they, with platform soles.
Oh yeah.
And there were better songs.
Better songs, Basil?
Israel, 2 votes.
And we gave them the points.
Italy, 5 votes.
Don't tell ABBA.
I feel like I win when I lose.
Do you know what the British judge gave you?
Oh, that I don't know.
0. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, we learned that not so long ago.
Not so long
I have
ago.
kind of pushed that back.
I had always thought it was 12 points.
The winning song of the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest, La Suède avec Waterloo, chanté par ABBA.
As it was, the Eurovision contest was held in Brighton, England.
Yes.
Of course, the impact was so much, was instant and so much more powerful.
You know, we could go the next day up to London and do Top of the Pops.
Super Sound it is. It's ABBA and Waterloo.
The credibility factor that they got out of winning the competition in Britain. The British top 10 was still the most powerful top 10 in Europe at that time. Top 3 single in the UK almost guaranteed you credibility in the rest of Europe.
The British people took us to their hearts completely and made us their own, which, you know, we're very proud of. It's very nice to go to England because it's like going home.
Trooper, beams are gonna blind me, but I won't feel blue.
Super Trooper is one of my favorite ABBA songs.
Like I always do.
What I love about it is it's a performer's song.
'Cause somewhere in the crowd there.
It's really about the drudgery of night after night getting up on stage and that loneliness that you feel.
By the time this deceptively sad song hit #1, Bjorn and Agneta had divorced. And it's about how the show has to go on, whatever might be happening off stage.
I was sick and tired of everything. When I called you last night from Glasgow, all I do is sit and sleep and sing.
song is about one time, not in Glasgow, but some other town up north where we played, where I waited for my new girlfriend. She wasn't there, but she was arriving. I was thinking that while up on stage.
Like a super trooper, lights are gonna find me, shining like the sun, smiling, having fun, feeling like
It's great when you're out there, and we are privileged to be doing it, but there are days when you're homesick. And it was just all encapsulated in there. They are great at distilling all the feelings that we have into a 3.5-minute pop song. And it's a real talent to do that.
Next, it's back in time once more to 1975, and the song which proved after a year of little chart success that ABBA were no one-hit wonders.
People tend to forget that. We had a struggle.
We had to struggle, yes, exactly.
After Waterloo, we had 2 or 3 singles that didn't make it at all. I thought this is the end of it, but I'm sort of a gloomy disposition sometimes.
where are those happy days? They seem so hard to find.
It took a year before SOS.
I tried to reach for you, but you have closed your mind. Whatever happened to our love? I wish I understood. It used to be so nice, it used to be so good.
SOS was the first ABBA song that added pathos.
So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS.
They realised they had to change that, to go away from that happy-go-lucky and put in something different.
I never really liked the Dancing Queens. I mean, they were good songs, but they didn't really appeal to me. What I love were the big orchestral numbers like your SOS. I love SOS.
You seem so far away, though you were standing near.
SOS is very important because it's the first song where Agneta has a solo lead.
I really tried to make it out. I wish I...
One of those heartbreak classics, the first one.
What happened to our love? It used to be so good.
It is one of those voices, isn't it, that makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck.
So when you're near me, darling, can't you hear me? SOS.
It was only when she did SOS that I think people thought, wow, this girl can really sing, and actually these guys aren't a one-hit wonder. They've got a lot to come.
A groundbreaking dance track next. Lay All Your Love on Me was the first ABBA song to be released exclusively on a 12-inch single. It was also the first not to have its own specially shot video. Instead, the band edited together a mixture of old ones in a way that was state-of-the-art. Well, in 1981 at any rate. But its chorus relied on the most tried and tested weapon in the ABBA armoury, the unique blend of Agneta and Frida's voices singing together.
It was actually the tone of the voices that worked so well together. A certain, brightness to the ear was like sunshine.
To blend to sound like one person, that takes you being around that person all the time and knowing when they're going to breathe. All that is so important.
The blend of our voices was something very special.
I can hear it miles away. You know, when I hear it somewhere being played in a department store or something from way back, oh yes, that's us.
At 13 in our search for the nation's favourite ABBA song, you voted for one of their gentler hits.
had a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything.
I don't know when it was, but you had this big party in your house at Lindblom. We had written I Have a Dream. We had also recorded a backing track. And I was at home writing lyrics. I was supposed to be at that party. Anyway, I had written half of it. And I called Benny to check it with him.
I believe in angels, something good in everything I see.
And he said, wonderful, come over, we must sing it.
Now I remember.
Yes.
And with all the guests, we were surrounded. We surrounded the grand piano. Exactly.
Piano.
And Benny played, and we all sang along.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
And again and again and again.
It's the only ABBA song to feature other singers in the form of a children's choir. And the moment when a different locally recruited group of kids joined the band on stage each night became a highlight of the live show.
What happens is this, the two girls will go out there, you'll all be there, and the two girls will go out and get you, and you come in and you stand in these positions. Exactly.
We had a bit of work to do with them before they actually felt very comfortable with it.
Yes, and I think I was the one who usually
You were the one,
rehearsed
yes, absolutely.
with the kids.
And it's not good if one of you is too close, you know, because then they'll only hear you. So as close as you can, but all of you.
The key was quite difficult for them. Children mainly need a high kind of key. As I was the lead vocal in that song, it was a low key. They have to sing very deep down, you know.
But as the young hopefuls took to the stage each night, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Looks like there was the odd runny nose too.
Kids choir, great song. Then the song appeals to everybody. All the ABBA songs have mass appeal. They can appeal to little kids, mammies, daddies, everybody. All the family can sing to ABBA.
Still to come on the nation's favourite ABBA song, there's Dancing on the Tables. I've never been so terrified. What happened when Madonna wanted to sample ABBA?
Normally we would say, write your own songs.
And the ABBA song that has an extraordinary effect on Chris Tarrant.
Gimme, gimme, gimme a man after midnight.
Welcome back as we continue our countdown of ABBA's greatest musical moments. As a band, they've been outsold only by the Beatles, and their sophisticated songwriting is second to none.
If you change your mind,
take a chance
on the first thing,
take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. This is an act whose songs are so infectious that even the backing vocals are irresistible.
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance.
And especially so in the 1978 sing-along classic that gave ABBA their 7th UK #1.
Take a chance, take a chance.
I remember the story. One of your jogging rounds, you got the written.
Yes.
And take a chance, take a chance,
Yeah,
take a
that's
chance
right.
came up.
That's right, that's right.
if you change your mind,
Take a chance,
on the first in line, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
That chugging sound came on. So what are the words you can fit into that percussive sound? Take a chance.
You're all alone, and the pretty birds have flown, honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
So go running. The lyricist, go running.
I quite find it quite a cheeky song, but it is that thing of like when you really like someone and you're like, just give it a shot. You've got nothing to lose, you know, and it might be brilliant.
Take a Chance on Me was to gain a new lease of life as a show-stopping moment in the Mamma Mia stage show. And who can forget Julie Walters in the movie?
Feeling down, speech!
She made it very much her own. The wonderful scene where she gets up on the table and just strides down the table singing the song is very much her improvising.
You're all alone when a pretty birds have
I've never been so terrified. There's Pierce and Stellan and Meryl. So I just thought I'm just going to do it as if I'm absolutely drunk.
to the test. Let me try.
And I'm just going to be completely gross.
Take a chance on me.
Next, a song with a killer keyboard riff that started life with the title Been and Gone and Done It, but reached number 3 in 1979 as Gimme Gimme Gimme.
Gimme 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 is a song for all the ladies. Like, the girls just love it.
It was sexy, it was naughty, and it was just about sex.
It's the kind of raunchy number that can whip even the most unlikely listener into a frenzy.
I remember when ABBA first came to the UK, we went to see them in a big theatre in Birmingham, and I had a huge big boss then, big guy called Terry. Two of us are standing on our chairs going, gimme, 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 a man after midnight. Everybody loved ABBA.
That keyboard riff is so recognisable. Madonna obviously used it as well, which made it even more iconic than it already was.
Yep, Madonna sampled the song in her 2005 global chart topper, Hung Up. But getting ABBA's permission to use it was no gimme.
Normally people approach us with a request to use parts of songs. We would say, write your own songs.
Instead of asking for permission, she recorded the finished track, and only then did she ask Bjorn and Benny for permission to use the sample.
Benny and I listened to it. It just took half a minute for me. Probably the same for Benny to realize how great that was.
The fact that they agreed to it is, I mean, kudos on them. Because I think Hung Up is a fantastic song. It's one of my favorite Madonna songs. It's one of my favorite pop songs from the last 10 years.
Now this, folks, is where it starts to get really exciting. We're into the top 10, and at number 10, it's a number 2 hit from 1979.
Chiquitita, tell me what's wrong. You're enchained by your own sorrow.
Chiquitita was a song that confirmed lyric writer Bjorn's ability to get in touch with his feminine side.
There is no hope for tomorrow. How I hate to see you like this.
He likes to write lyrics that are sensitive and emotional, which is so important. It's very appealing to women when men write those lyrics, even though women sing it.
I can see that you're all so sad, so quiet.
A really good example of being able to write from the perspective of being a girl is probably Chiquitita,
I'm a shoulder you can cry on.
which is a song in which a girl is giving advice to another girl, so it's quite a sort of sisterly, compassionate song.
We can patch it up together. Chiquitita, you and I know.
I enjoyed very much writing lyrics for women, but I never sort of consciously wrote for women. It just came naturally.
I must add, the way Bjorn treats his lyrics he does it with a passion, like he treats women with a very wonderful respect and a passion for the female thing, you know. And you've always been like that, and I don't think you even have thought about it. No, but she's one of the, Bjorn is one of the most respectful men I've ever met when it comes to the opposite sex, definitely.
Ah, great, thank you.
Oh, isn't that nice? Now, if you've been waiting for the name of the game, wait no more. It's number 9 in your countdown.
The name of the game was specifically written for ABBA the movie.
ABBA the movie was shot on location during the band's 1977 tour of the nation where ABBA mania was at its most rampant, Australia.
ABBA were absolutely enormous in Australia. I don't think I can actually overstate how huge they were. Didn't matter who you were or how old you were or what kind of music you're into, ABBA were a part of your life in Australia in the 70s. They were, you know, flip-flops, board shorts, going to the beach, zinc on your nose, and ABBA.
The man who directed all ABBA's videos was Lasse Hallström, and this, his major movie debut, followed the Australian tour madness as it unfolded, using it as a backdrop for a storyline about a journalist out for an exclusive.
Excuse me, you are ABBA's manager, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Well, I hope you can help me.
The storyline about this interviewer or journalist who needs an in-depth interview with the band. So that was our thin storyline.
I have to get an interview with ABBA.
Ignore this man, Mr. Anderson. He's crazy.
Take it easy, will you?
No script, no nothing. But we had a writer constantly trying to feed us sensible things. That never worked out.
In ABBA the movie, the name of the game forms a soft-focused dream sequence where the hapless journalist Ashley imagines how the interview might go if only he could get one.
He's fantasizing about being their mate, and you know the girls quite fancy him. They were singing it to him, weren't they? I wanted to be him so badly. I think that was the thing of it. Everybody wanted to be him.
At your number 8, a sugar-coated song which packs an emotional punch.
We've always had a soft heart, Benny and me, for schmaltzy Italian ballads. And here we have the opportunity with mandolins and strings, and also one of those ladies singing in the background in a high voice. Agnetha did that. That was good.
ABBA's last top 3 hit in the UK, One of Us, was a song about a breakup. And by the time it came out in 1981, both couples in the band had divorced.
One of my very most favorite things about the band is that they were grown-ups. They were adults singing about adult themes and kind of reveling in their adulthood.
That song is incredibly poignant, and the lyrics are really gritty. And bear in mind what was happening behind the scenes. The marriages were all going wrong, whatever. I mean, it was quite sad old stuff. So they were kind of living out their own pain very much in public, and I can't think of any other groups really done that.
After the break, more difficult times for the band.
I can remember a sad and lonely feeling.
ABBA shared the spotlight.
Who can live without it?
They turned our microphones up so you could hear our voices over and above ABBA's.
And what was really going on when a future Hollywood director shot ABBA's videos?
And I put the girls in a flower pot with wheels.
We asked you in an exclusive poll to vote for your favourite ABBA song. And there are 7 classics still to come in your countdown. For the best part of a decade, a glorious stream of hits flowed from the pens of Benny and Bjorn, each different from the last.
They're all just top-notch pop songs, you know, one after another after another. They're songs that, you know, you don't even realise that you know them. That's how good they are. You just, song after song after song, they're just ingrained in your subconscious somehow.
But where was the nerve centre of this hit factory? The place where the magic happened, where the hits were created. As it turns out, a hut on a holiday island just outside Stockholm.
Benny and I would meet every morning during the summer in this little cottage. Really idyllic, almost in the wilderness. Open windows, we would write away. That's why we wrote Winner Takes It All, Dancing Queen.
Thank you for the music.
I can't remember that one. But Fernando.
Can you hear the drums, Fernando? I remember long ago another starry night in the twilight, Fernando. You were humming to yourself and softly strumming.
Yes, at number 7 in your countdown, a song that topped charts worldwide in 1976, although originally it was written for Frida's Swedish language solo album.
They were close now, Fernando.
I love the fact that English was their second language. I think that opens the door for some very creative turns of phrase that you wouldn't necessarily hear if they would have been born in the UK or America or something.
We were young and full of life and none of us prepared to die. And I'm not ashamed to say the roar of guns and cannons almost made me cry. There was something in the air that night, the stars.
90% of Swedish people speak English, and they speak it very well. But for me, I can hear a little bit of Swedishness in their songs when they're singing. I can hear their Swedish accent.
I know they worked very hard in the studio to sound as British or American or whatever as possible. I've seen lyric sheets where they sort of made pronunciation notes to get it right.
If I had to do the same again, I would, my friend Fernando.
In those days, I read everything in English. You know, constantly trying to get the grasp of English. But sometimes something would slip through, obviously, you know, that wasn't quite grammatically right.
Now we're old and brave, Fernando. Since many years I hadn't seen a rifle in your hand.
Since many years I haven't seen a rifle in your hand. It should be, for many years I haven't seen a rifle in your hand.
Do you still recall the fateful night we crossed the Rio Grande?
That's the only one.
Read your eyes, how proud you were to fight for freedom in this land.
Our Whistle Stop World Tour, brought to you courtesy of the songs of ABBA, continues. Moving on from Fernando's Mexico, next it's a taste of Italy.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia is a classic example of Bjorn plundering the languages of Europe in search of the perfect hook line.
Mamma Mia, does it show again?
Very often I would put much more emphasis on the hook. Sometimes using a foreign word or a foreign sounding line. I don't think English lyricists ever did that.
This was a landmark song for ABBA, giving them their second #1 after Waterloo. But nowadays the words Mamma and Mia mean a whole lot more than just a 1975 hit single with a catchy Italian title. It's a stage show, it's a film, it's a global phenomenon that seems to provide a lift in troubled times.
Well, I first saw Mamma Mia on Broadway, oh gosh, it was in the winter of 2001. And that's when September 11th happened. And it was like a tonic for the city, just to have that show pumping and music and joy and reminding you everything that's great about being alive.
I mean, I have seen it about 3 times, the movie, and 3 times the productions. And the main thing is when you go into the cinema or see it, or you go to the theatre, everybody is singing the songs.
And like Mamma Mia the song, Mamma Mia the musical has a distinctly international appeal.
Mamma Mia, ja, daar ga ik weer. Oh jee, het is nog niet gesleten. Mamma Mia, ja, daar sta ik weer. Nee, willst du mir egal sein?
It's a story that's universal. It's why it's a success here in America, in Japan, in Germany, in every country around the world. Because all of us can relate to it, and all of us know the songs. It's not a surprise that it's the big success.
I remember there was a great, you won't include this, but there was a fantastic moment when I went to see Elvis Costello in concert.
Hang on, why is he talking about Elvis Costello?
And he finished the concert, and he came, and he hadn't played Oliver's Army, I think. And he came back out on concert, and he said, I'm going to play you one last song. It's a huge #1 song. I think you'll enjoy it. It seems to me to be a very great song. And everyone cheered and cheered and cheered, expecting he was going to play Oliver's Army.
Richard, where is this going?
And he played Knowing Me, Knowing You, and said it's the greatest song about divorce ever written.
Got it. And that's your number 5.
I remember it as an absolutely wonderful song. Very good lyrics. I loved to sing it, I really did.
That's one of those songs when I had this clear image of someone walking around in an empty apartment with steps echoing and memories flooding back.
Walking through an empty house, tears in my eyes.
There is a sadness in it, but still it's a happy song. And this is such a wonderful combination.
This is goodbye.
Not only did Knowing Me, Knowing You give the band their 5th #1, its video, directed by Lassie Hallström, showcased the one in profile, the other one looking straight ahead, ABBA shot.
The shots, and the girls taking over, and it was all very well thought
I've been thinking a lot about how to use our faces in the picture at the same time.
The girls in a flower pot with wheels, and I had the electrician turn the pot around to make the faces. So it's really ridiculous. We were young. It was the early ages of videos.
When I was younger, or going out to auditions, I would always sing "Thank you for the music." Sometimes I was lucky with it, sometimes I wasn't so lucky with it.
At 4 in the nation's favourite ABBA song, Thank You for the Music, was the band's farewell single in 1983. But before that, it was a much-loved album track and a favourite of 2 Essex schoolgirls with dreams that a popular 70s TV show might fix it for them to meet their idols.
Dear Jimmy, please could you fix it for my friend Clara and me to meet ABBA? We think they're a great group. Please, please, could you fix it for us? Claire Doggett and Claire Lindemann.
I got home from school, the telephone rang. Would we like to meet ABBA? And could we be in London by 9 o'clock the next morning?
The phone rings. Claire's screaming down the phone, we're going to be on the television.
They just literally put us in the room with
In the
ABBA
studio.
and off it went, really.
Start singing.
So I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing.
They turned our microphones up so you could hear our voices over and above ABBA's.
What would I be without a song or a dance? What are we? So
Big mistake, eh?
thank you for the music, for giving it to me.
We've cherished these through most of our life and they've been kept safely, as you can see. No, not really. We don't tend to wear them out too often these days, do we? Right at the end, she stroked my face and kissed me.
Thank you.
Everybody just went, I can't believe it, and yet it kissed you.
Coming up after the break, the ABBA song for all occasions.
In my will, I'm being lowered into the ground to it.
Meryl hits the heights.
It's a big mountain because people expect a lot.
And we finally reveal the nation's favourite ABBA song. Welcome back to our countdown of the nation's favourite ABBA songs. There are only 3 classic singles left standing, and right up there at number 3, a bit of a surprise.
It's the one song that proved that Bjorn and Benny were in a different place from anybody else. The day before you came.
This melancholy masterpiece you voted your 3rd favourite didn't even make the top 30 in 1982, and it was the last track that the band ever recorded.
When I think back, I know that there was a kind of sadness in the group because then Benny and I had divorced as well then. And it was quite recently we had split up.
Must have opened my front door at 8 o'clock or so.
I can remember a sad and lonely feeling.
And stopped along the way to buy some Chinese food to go.
Agneta brings that out so well also in the video.
I'm sure I had my dinner watching something on TV.
Maybe it's a kind of farewell without you even knowing.
There's not, I think, a single episode of Dallas.
We had been together as a group since 71, and so that was really the creative lifespan of any group you can think of. So I think all of us were thinking about trying various different things.
The day before you
And so on to your 2nd favourite ABBA song ever. And as luck would have it, while very little film of the band in the studio exists, the cameras were there when the boys unveiled the backing track for a number by the name of Dancing Queen.
My first reaction was cry. I started to cry. I was so totally moved by that backing track.
It's been provoking big reactions ever since.
Whenever I hear Dancing Queen, I just imagine myself spinning around in a field and my hair is like, I don't know, I've got flowers around me and I'm just Dancing Queen.
Then you play Dancing Queen, that's it, the dance floor. Everyone's like got the hands up there, Dancing Queen.
Dancing Queen, it's just fun. It makes you dance. It's one of those songs that's going to be played inevitably at weddings and possibly funerals.
Friday night and the lights are low.
I didn't play it going down the actual aisle, but I played it as I made my grand entrance coming down the staircase. But it is actually, morbidly, in my will. I'm being lowered into the ground to it as well.
Anybody could be that guy.
So But just what is the lasting appeal of this timeless song for all occasions? Theories, anyone?
It kind of makes you want to join in. It's got a huge chorus that it wants you to sing along to. And so it makes you like want to do it. And when you do, you feel kind of really giddy.
ABBA turns the straightest man gay. You know, dancing queen. You'll see them twirling and like, oh, that's what ABBA tends to do to people.
That disco beat, an amazing melody, and an incredible lyric. It's a triple whammy.
It's a song that we all know, or think we do. But what about this lost verse? Dropped from the final version, but luckily preserved forever by Swedish TV.
Baby, baby, you're out of sight. Hey, you're looking alright tonight. When you come to the party, listen to the guys. They got the look in their eyes.
Baby, baby, you're out of sight. You're looking all right tonight. When you come to the party, listen to the guys. They got the look in their eyes. That's cute. I would have kept it in.
Looking out for another, anyone will do. You're in the mood for a dance.
So there you go. I bet many of you were convinced that Dancing Queen would be our number one. But in that case, what classic single have you chosen as the nation's favourite ABBA song? I'll give you some clues. It's a song from 1980. It gave the band their 8th UK number one. And it's about the end of a relationship. Got it yet? Well, according to your votes, the winner takes it all.
The Winner Takes It All is probably my favourite song.
Winner Takes It All is probably the most profound song that they wrote.
Well, The Winner Takes It All, I think, is probably one of the greatest pop songs ever.
The Winner Takes It All is the Bohemian Rhapsody of divorce.
I don't want to talk about things we've gone through, though it's hurting me. Now it's history. I played all my cards, and that's what you've done too.
I think it's poignant, I think it's sad, I think it's painful. I think it's everything that an unrequited love song should be.
The winner takes it all, the loser standing small.
It's beyond just a little pop song. Melodically, it's absolutely stunning. Lyrically, it's pure drama.
I was in your arms, thinking I belonged there. I figured it made sense, building me a fence, building me a home.
It's pessimistic. It's not saying, I'll do the best I can, it'll all be fine, I will survive. It's saying, actually, the gods have thrown the dice, and at the end of a relationship, one person tends to be shattered.
The gods make roll and dice, their minds as cold as ice.
The song's heartfelt lyric was written by Bjorn and sung by Agneta. And when it was released, all ABBA lovers knew that Bjorn and Agneta's own marriage had only recently ended.
We know that the relationships were breaking down, and we're trying to envisage him going, hello love, hope you're all right, sorry about the breakup, anyway, wrote this for you.
Tell me, does she kiss like I used to kiss you? Does it feel the same when she calls your name?
But is Michael's theory true? The big question is, how much was Bjorn drawing on his own experience in creating the song?
people assumed naturally that he was straight out of my and Anjeta's divorce. But absolutely not. That's not true. Because there was no winner, no loser in that. But it might have been in the back of my mind, of course. But the winner takes it all. That situation is so dramatic. It's absolutely surpassed the divorce itself, which now seems, you know, something much more mundane. Especially if you've been 10 meters away from Meryl Streep when she does it high up on a mountain in Greece. It became very dramatic.
Tell me, does she kiss like I used to kiss you? Does it feel the same when she calls your name?
In Mamma Mia, the winner takes it all is at the emotional heart of the story, presenting a challenge for even the most brilliant performer.
But what can I say? Rules must be obeyed.
It's a big mountain because people expect a lot. But I didn't think about that. All I thought about was Pierce. I mean, he was so amazing to me in that song. He gave me so much without saying anything. It was a communication between a man and a woman. And it was a dialogue, even though he doesn't speak.
I don't want to talk.
So it's official. The winner takes it all is the nation's favourite ABBA song.
And I understand.
But what of the 4 ABBA members today?
Shake my hand.
Bjorn and Benny have never stopped working together and recently collaborated on Benny's latest album with his band.
It makes
Agneta's last solo album came out in 2004, and these days she lives largely away from the spotlight.
no self-confidence.
Her Serene Highness Princess Annie Frid City Royce, Countess of Plauen, lives in Switzerland. The title came after her marriage to a German prince, and she is especially involved in environmental charities. But what we all want to know is, do they miss being part of ABBA?
And the love I have for my fellow band members, it will always be there. It's nothing that anyone can take away from me.
And also the fact, of course, that our music has lived on the way it has. Is something we never dreamt of.
The 4 maintain that they will never reform as ABBA. But the success of the film Mamma Mia did see them reunite in 2008, although not to perform, for its Stockholm premiere.
I remember when Mamma Mia opened here, the 4 of us were standing in the lobby of the cinema. Just the 4 of us, and no one else. And I felt, you know, it came back like that.
Well, life in Weatherfield will never be the same after this week. Coronation Street's 50th anniversary week starts tomorrow at 7:30 with the first ever episode. You can see that after at 8 o'clock. After the news, a guillotine trick gone horribly wrong turns 2 magic partners into mortal enemies. Mitchell and Webb star in Magicians.